What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Atlanta Sports Fan Podcast. See you on the Atlanta Sports Fan YouTube channel. I'm your man, this time with the plan, but no way executing the John Jones. And today we're talking about everything. I got a lot of stuff scheduled. I got a whole clipboard worth of stuff scheduled. So let's just get right into it. Let's talk about the championship games tomorrow. Right, I'm recording this on what is it? Saturday morning. It's 1:18 time of recording this. Probably drop around like 3-ish maybe. So who do I have? Who do I have going to the Super Bowl? Well, I think that the Ravens are going to beat the Chiefs at home. But we haven't seen Baltimore in the championship game in a long time, and I think that Kansas City can't just walk in there and just beat them. So I think that Lamar Jackson leads the Ravens to a win, leads them to their first Super Bowl appearance in a little over a decade. That game's on CBS at 3 o'clock, by the way. Um, and then you also have in the 6 o'clock window, you have Detroit flying to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, right? The 49ers did not look very good from what I heard last week. So now you got to go play a gritty Lions team that's going to punch them in the throat, bite a kneecap off, bite another kneecap off, punch one in the mouth. And I don't think that they're ready for it. To be honest with you, I don't think they've played against each other this season. They have not. The last time they faced would have been a while ago, like a long time ago. It would have been September 12th in the 49ers beat the Lions when, I mean, let's be honest, this team's not very good. Hawkinson, Jamal Williams. This is 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So I have Detroit taking this one. Detroit, you've suffered for long enough. It's time to get you to the Super Bowl, where you will face, sadly, the Baltimore Ravens in Vegas. Making my notes here. I believe. All right. Next, let's talk about this new hire. Right, I have no clue how long it's going to take. Right. Let's talk about the new hire for the Atlanta Falcons. Let's talk about Raheem Morris. Now, Raheem, he spent the last 3 years as defensive coordinator, right? Last 3 in LA with the Rams. He won the Super Bowl there, of course. And then before that, he was here in Atlanta, but also served as the interim head coach for the team. Um, and then you also have he was the wide receiver coach for 4 years in Atlanta. And the last 4 years he served as wide receiver coach, he was the pass game coordinator, which means that he ended up managing Matt Ryan, basically. He did. He managed Matt Ryan, managed that passing offense that they had, and from 2017 to 2019, that was not a bad passing offense by any means. That's just by any means. It wasn't 2016 good, but it wasn't like horrifically awful. So if there's one man I trust to lead this team to the future, it's Raheem Morris. Now, also, if you look at his head coaching record, right, you see the 21-38 record, right? That might scare you, right? But you have to remember, 4 of those wins and 7 of those losses came when he was the interim head coach in Atlanta back in 2020, right? He had 4 wins, including last time he had like a really dominant win against Vegas in Mercedes-Benz Stadium that one day when we had the All Blacks. They had Derek Carr still. We won, I think, 43-6 was the final score of that game. But even before that, he went 17-31 with Tampa Bay. And even Bucks fans will tell you that that Tampa Bay Bucks team was destined to fail. That's a team that was coming off of the John Gruden years, right? Still trying to find their identity, right? And they were led into the season not by some big name quarterback we all know. They got led out to battle by Josh Freeman. That's a name you have not heard in years. I can guarantee you that. Josh Freeman in the years he played in Tampa Bay. You want to know what he did? In the years he's played in Tampa Bay, he threw for 1,300 yards, 80 touchdowns, 66 interceptions. That's that's not very good. It's not. Let's be honest. That's not very good for an NFL quarterback. That's not very good. Um. So, yeah, when you look at that and look at the team he had surrounding him, you're like, hey, maybe this guy's as bad as he seems. So, I think that all you got to do, man, you have to ride behind this team, rally behind them, get behind them, and do as they did last year. Pack out the bends every single Sunday. Get loud. Represent the team to the fullest. Notice how if you know him in person, the Falcons gear has not come off since week 1. Falcons gear never comes off. The stuff stays on the wall unless they piss me off. This is going to be a good signing. When you see a lot of guys rally behind the signing, like you have the past couple of days, that everyone's saying, "Oh my God, the Falcons got themselves a good one in Raheem Morris." When he's that well loved in the NFL, you got it. You got something. You got something special. I am actually flying by this. I had 5 things to talk about, and I'm already 6 minutes in, and I'm through 2 of them. So, yeah. I didn't get my opinions on this. Raheem Morris hired as Jacksonville's defensive coordinator. I hate it because Ryan Nielsen turned this defense around. He took what Dean Pease did. He took the vision Dean Pease had and pretty much expanded it. And I really love that about Ryan Nielsen. Right, when he was on the sideline, he was happy. He was doing his thing, jumping up and down, celebrating with his guys down on the field. And we're not gonna have that next year. And it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. But you look at that, and you're like, okay, he's gonna have a blast with Josh Allen on that defense. But now we got to go out. You got to find another defense coordinator. And with Raheem Morris, I think you're gonna get some good people. Raheem Morris is leading the charge. We also now know that Rich McKay will not be making any football operation decisions in the next for I think the rest of his time in Atlanta. So that's good. No one has to report to him. They're reporting directly to Arthur Blank because Arthur Blank's getting old and Arthur Blank wants to win. And that's what we want to see. We want to see Arthur Blank take control of this team kind of and not do it with Rich McKay on his side. Like, hey, let's do this move. Let's do this move. No, you want Arthur Blank, Terry Fontenot, and Raheem Morris to put together a fucking roster to go win football games. I didn't even play for this game. So speaking of going to win football games, we have another version of my mock draft. Now, once again, I got to preface this by saying I haven't watched that much college football last year, right? I don't know why. I just don't watch it a lot, right? Sundays is football for me. Saturdays I'll do my own thing. So this is purely based off of what I've seen from the media, from what I know, and we're gonna leave it at that. And first of all, the Falcons would be trading up in this scenario, right? They're gonna trade up. They're gonna give away pick number 8, our 2nd round pick next year, and Desmond Ridder to New England for pick number 3. I think that it's no secret that 1, 2, 3 are going to be quarterbacks, right? And I think that if the Falcons want to get their quarterback of the future in this draft, right? As of right now, as of January 27th, 2024, if they want to go out and get their quarterback of the future right now in the draft, they have to trade up to number 3 or number 2 or number 1. You can't wait for a guy to fall to number 4 because it's more than likely it's not going to happen. So, with the 3rd overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select quarterback out of UNC, Drake Maye. Now, I am a big advocate for Jayden Daniels. Problem is, I think Jayden Daniels might have went either 1 or 2. He went 1 or 2 because he was not on the board. So Drake Maye is the next best option. From what I've seen, he looks like Matt Ryan, but a little bit worse. And Matt Ryan was a dog. So if we can get that kind of play, I think we can develop him. One thing I saw on the scouting reports was that he has tendency to hold on to the ball a long time. If you look at what we did with Ritter, I think the problem with Ritter is he couldn't get out of his own head. Right, Ritter was making too many dumb mistakes. If we can make sure that Drake May from the jump doesn't make those dumb mistakes, then we are onto something. Right. Also, something that says let's take risks. Right. With the big targets we have Drake London at what 6'5". We have KP at what 6'6". We got guys that can jump out the gym. Cordero Patterson's not small by any means. I think with those guys, you have a chance to take a little bit more risks and maybe have them come down with a couple. But pick 43 in the second round. Early on in my mock drafts, I was so excited because Kalen King was dropping to the second round where we were at 43, right? As time's going on, as players have declared for the draft and not declared for the draft, he has gone up. I think now he's at 40. I think when I started doing mock drafts, he's at like 46 or the 46th ranked player in the draft class. So I think he went first round in this mock, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm excited for. To watch him for the first time actually in the Senior Bowl. But with the 43rd overall pick, the Atlanta Falcons select Donnie Mitchell, wide receiver out of Texas. Why do you make this move? You make this move because even though you have Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Bijan and Algier and CP, and you'll probably get rid of Jonnu Smith though. Michael Pruitt probably. What's gonna happen is you're gonna need a wide receiver too, right? Love Kyle Pitts, but Drake London's wide receiver 1, and Kyle Pitts is a tight end. Everyone knows this, right? Kyle Pitts is tight end 1, Drake London's wide receiver 1. You need a wide receiver 2. A.D. Mitchell out of the second round is going to be that guy for us, right? Speedy guy. He can get behind defenses. Drake London, he's the big Julio target. If Drake's the big Julio target, A.D. Mitchell's like Taylor Gabriel, right? It's like I'm going back to the old school Falcons with this one. Yeah. So those are my first 2 picks, right? Now getting to the realm of people, I have no clue who these guys are. Pick number 74 in the 3rd round. The Atlanta Falcons select Josh Newton, cornerback out of TCU. With Jeff Okudah probably being out the door. Right? More than likely, you'll be out the door, right? You need someone to step into that nickel role, right? You have Clark Phillips, right? Clark Phillips, he's going to be cornerback too, right? We saw him step up last season whenever we needed him. So who steps up to that CB3 role? I think Josh Newton out of TCU is going to be the guy. Now, don't forget, I haven't watched like catch football. I don't know how good he is, but he's the best corner available, and I think the Falcons will get a corner in this upcoming draft class. So that is my 74th overall pick. But 5 picks later, the Falcons pick again, and they pick Jonah Ellis out of Utah. I've had this guy mocked for the Falcons for a while, the edge rusher out of Utah. We're going to need to fortify that edge again with Calais Campbell being out the door. So what you're going to need to do, go out, either sign one, which I think could also happen if you go out and sign a veteran edge rusher, or you go and pick up Jonah Ellis in the 3rd round for that. And then the Falcons make another trade. We trade down to pick 124, right? We get 124 to 2025 6th from Jacksonville for pick number 109. And with 114, the Falcons select a safety, Tyke Smith out of Georgia. We know Jesse Bates is one of our safeties, right? And I know that Hemor's going to want to run 2 safeties, right? But now, I think with Tyke Smith drafting, you have a 3-man fight for the other safety spot. You have Richie Grant, who we know what he can be, but he hasn't really been that. You've seen him miss a lot of tackles. You have DeMarco Hellams, who can come out and do the things he needs to do. But you also have Tyke Smith. Both of these guys have played in the SEC, Hellams and Smith. You'll have a nice 3-way battle in the training camp. Whoever doesn't make it, Goes to the practice squad, gets better, either comes back next year and does better, wins the starting role, or you trade them for even more talent. And the next two picks I have are purely depth moves with 141. We pick Matt Goncalves, I think is how you pronounce it, offensive tackle from Pitt, and then Trevor Keegan, inside lineman from Michigan with 198. I made those picks because you saw later in the year when our offensive line got hurt, Ritter started making dumb decisions. That's when we took him out for Heineke, who was been in those dumb decision moments before, and he did make those same mistakes. All this to say, right? I think that with the Raheem Moore signing proves that we're going young with our quarterback, right? We're not going to go out and get Kirk Cousins. We're going to go, we're going Justin Fields. We're going Caleb Williams. We're going somebody under like 20, under 30, right? You have to get him the weapons, the AD Mitchell. You have to get him the offensive lineman, right? Make sure you have enough offensive linemen. I don't want to be in a situation last year where you had to rush Matthew. We need to rush him. He started all 17 games. I'm not talking about. It won't be last year where you have Jake Matthews out, you have Chris Lindstrom out, you have McGarry out, and then you're left with wet paper bags to start at your offensive lineman spots. It's not good. So those are purely depth signings, and that's another mock draft in the books. That took me 17 minutes. 17 minutes for 1, 2, 3, 4 topics. I'm not adding topics. But I do want to say, if you are a big soccer fan, if you're a big Atlanta United fan, watch the scrimmage going on today at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find it on the Atlanta United Twitter account, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I'm right on that. Trying to make sure I'm right on that. Yeah, you can find it at atlutd.com/live or find the live stream on X/Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. They playing I think this is Legion. That's very, very helpful. Birmingham Legion FC at Protective Stadium. If you're going out there for it, make sure you're rowdy, you're loud, and I can't wait for soccer to start back up in the A. With that being said, thank y'all for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Today's episode of the Atlanta Sports Stand podcast. We'll be back soon talking about more sports stuff. As always, I'm John Jones, and I'll see you next time. Peace.